For those hoping for more horrifying Hayden Panettiere after her return to the Scream franchise, might I warn you that her latest offering is more disappointing than bone-chilling. Directed by Brandon Auman, Sleepwalker is a psychological thriller focused on a grieving mother who is constantly haunted by the loss of her daughter and the looming threat of her abusive husband whenever her eyes are shut. Whether she's at home at night or accidentally wanders off in the middle of the day, Sarah's horror-filled dreams make her relive the worst day of her life, never allowing her to move on or parent her remaining son. Although the concept of making a thriller that examines somnambulism seems quite captivating, Sleepwalker doesn't effectively incorporate this complex disorder into its premise, resulting in a puzzling story about a woman going on a spiral without any healing prospect.
What is Sleepwalker about?
Sleepwalker opens with Sarah snuggling next to her daughter Amy as she teaches her how to detect what is and isn't real while sleepwalking. Soon enough, this scene is revealed to be Sarah's own sleepwalking venture, with her daughter still within arm's reach, when, in reality, Amy has died in a terrible accident. This opening sequence offers a glimpse at Sarah's constant struggle, blaming herself for her daughter's loss. On top of this, her abusive ex-husband haunts her dreams. Although he is in a coma, Michael's lurking presence whenever Sarah's nightmares take over makes her feel ever so unsafe and judged. Living with her eccentric mother and her equally disturbed son, Holden, Sarah is trying her best to deal with her condition and carry on. Yet her coping mechanisms prove to be even more detrimental, with her getting to the point of violence when she sleepwalks. In a film where dreams and reality are meshed together, viewers are left to wonder what actually happened the night that Amy died, and question Sarah's sanity. Is she being tormented by the loss of her child, or could she have had some hand in her daughter's demise?
Sleepwalker doesn't know if it wants to be a horror film or a thriller.
Sleepwalker's major issue is its tonal inconsistency. With an unsettling score by Sebastian Evans and a few ineffective jump scares, there are times when this thriller seems to dip its toes into horror terrain without fully committing to the genre. In a given instance, Sarah listens to her mother's advice and consults a psychic who says that Michael's spirit is trying to reunite with her in the dream world. It is even implied that, despite Michael being in a coma, his mind is still alive and well. These events make audiences wonder if Sarah's sleepwalking struggle might have been orchestrated by Michael in a supernatural sort of way, as if his spirit were trying to reunite their family like he tried to do on multiple occasions before their separation. Later on, this theory is completely pushed aside, with Sarah's sleeping disorder becoming progressively worse. Instead of waiting for a proper diagnosis and getting the right medication, she decides to self-medicate with her mother's pills and continues on with her life, accepting the fact that she might wake up in random places throughout the day. By teasing a supernatural explanation for her sleepwalking and including certain horror-coded surrealistic sequences throughout the film, Auman's script loses its focus. Much like the protagonist has no grasp on when she is or isn't sleepwalking, the audience has no idea where the story is headed and is clueless about the writer-director's end goal. When the end credits pop up on the screen, there are even further questions and no clear answers.
Sleepwalker offers a surface-level look at Sarah's trauma.
Panettiere, who recently starred in the compelling thriller Amber Alert, is underutilized here. She plays a character who is both confused and distraught and doesn't get any development throughout the project's runtime. She's a ticking time bomb ready to explode, as opposed to someone who slowly comes to understand how her sleep disorder might be tied to her trauma. Sarah clearly loves her children and would do whatever it takes to ensure their safety, despite her ex-husband trying to convince her that she is an unfit mother. Still, when Amy dies, her dreams keep her on edge and even makes her a threat to her son Holden, who seems to be just as impacted by his sister's death. Instead of Sarah and Holden sticking together and trying to uncover how to cope with their respective traumas, Sleepwalker fails to explore their dynamic. The film also doesn't allow Panettiere's character to evolve, even after her somnambulism reaches a point of no return. Auman's directorial debut might have had a promising concept, but the final product doesn't deliver on what it sought out to do. It's mostly hard to follow, with viewers getting no sense of closure towards the end. The supernatural elements in the story come as a distraction, and the surrealist horror instances are neither scary nor thrilling. By focusing on Sarah's downward spiral, the film not only limits what Panettiere can do with her character, but also robs audiences of a satisfying payoff. Sleepwalker also fails to develop its supporting characters, especially Holden, whose nightmares aren't given proper attention. He and his mother are going through similar situations, but they don't rely on each other to get to the other side, and it's frustrating to witness. If Onman had focused on how Sarah and Holden unlock the mystery behind their sleeping disorder, as opposed to feeding into the theory that Michael was responsible for their terrifying dreams, the film would have honed in on the mind-bending aspect of the story. It instead feels tonally inconsistent, failing as both a horror flip and a psychological thriller. Those going into this hoping that Sleepwalker cements Panettiere's status as a scream queen will be disappointed to see that the actress is not only underutilized here, but that the premise is just as hazy as her character's reality. Sleepwalker is now playing in theaters and on VOD services.